The F-35B isn't just a jet, it's a shape-shifting ghost built to delay detection, share what it sees with allies, and even drop into a vertical landing at the push of a button. Video transcript. Its helmet projects the battlefield onto the pilot's visor, linking nearby F-35s into a kind of shared brain that fights as one. Video transcript. That lift fan hidden inside the fuselage, it's the party trick that lets a frontline fighter touch down like a helicopter on short decks where others can't. Video transcript. But every miracle has a price: weight, complexity, and design trade-offs. No one notices until it matters. So is the F-35B the future of air power, or the most expensive lesson in modern warfare? Keep watching. From the start, the F-35B was sold as the ultimate do-everything jet. A stealth fighter that could strike enemies in the sky, pound targets on the ground, and still act as a flying sensor hub, sharing live battlefield data with allies in real-time video transcript. Its futuristic helmet visor doesn't just show altitude and speed, it projects the entire battle space directly onto the pilot's eyes, letting them see through the jet's skin as if the plane were invisible. When multiple F-35s fly together, they link into a shared network, creating a kind of digital hive mind video transcript. To the Marines, that capability alone was a dream. A jet that could fight, scout, and command, all at once promised to reshape every mission. At least, that was the vision. Packing all of those promises into one jet came with brutal engineering contradictions. Stealth demands flat, angled surfaces to scatter radar waves, but maneuverability requires big control surfaces and air intakes that gulp air in high-stress maneuvers. Video transcript. Vertical takeoff needs a massive lift fan hidden in the fuselage, yet every extra pound of machinery reduces speed, range, and payload. The F-35B became a balancing act between invisibility, agility, and raw power. Engineers knew from the beginning, excelling at all three was nearly impossible. The best they could do was compromise. And while stealth doesn't mean invisible, it buys time, delaying enemy detection long enough to strike first video transcript. But building a jet that hides, fights, and hovers meant trade-offs that critics would soon call unforgivable. The F-35B's signature trick is jaw-dropping. At the push of a button, a hidden lift fan roars to life, tilting massive thrusters downward so the jet can rise or land vertically. Video transcript. For the Marines, this meant operating from short, cramped amphibious assault ships instead of relying only on giant aircraft carriers. Suddenly, bases that were once vulnerable or unusable became staging grounds for stealth fighters. But this miracle of engineering came at a punishing cost. That vertical lift system added thousands of pounds, ate up precious fuel space, and forced radical compromises in design. Every pound devoted to hovering is a pound not available for weapons, speed, or range. Supporters hail it as battlefield flexibility at its finest. Critics argue it's an over-engineered gimmick that turned the world's most advanced fighter into a slower, heavier compromise. And the question lingers, will this helicopter fighter prove to be a game-changer or a costly mistake? Stealth was supposed to be the F-35B's invisible shield, but the truth is more complicated. The goal isn't to vanish from radar completely. Instead, it's to delay detection just long enough to strike first video transcript. Designing for that delay meant endless battles with physics. Flat surfaces reflect radar like mirrors, so engineers angled every panel to scatter signals. Corner reflectors, created when vertical and horizontal stabilizers meet, had to be carefully avoided. That's why the F-35's tail surfaces are canted outward, breaking up those deadly reflections, video transcript. Even the air intakes carry hidden tricks. A subtle bump along the fuselage diverts turbulent air, preventing it from damaging the engine, and, at the same time, reducing radar visibility, video transcript. But here's the paradox. Every stealth fix weakened something else. A slimmer intake reduces radar signature, but starves the engine in sharp maneuvers. Angled tails hide the jet from radar, but limit control authority in combat. The result? a fighter that looks like a ghost on the radar screen, until the compromises start to show. And that's where the real controversy begins. For all its futuristic promises, the F-35B quickly became one of the most criticized jets in history. The price tag ballooned into the trillions over the program's lifetime, making it the most expensive weapon system ever built. Supporters called it an investment in decades of dominance. Detractors called it a money pit draining defense budgets dry. Performance was another flashpoint. Test pilots and military reports revealed troubling concerns. The jet was slower than some fourth-generation fighters, its dogfighting ability questioned, and its maintenance demands staggering. Even small failures, like a software glitch or a cracked component, could ground fleets of aircraft for weeks. Then came the headlines. Reports of engine fires, oxygen system failures, and entire squadrons being temporarily grounded fed the narrative that the F-35 wasn't a breakthrough, but a boondoggle. To its critics, the F-35B symbolized everything wrong with modern defense spending: ambitious promises, endless delays, and a final product weighed down by compromises. But others argued the real test wasn't on the runway. It was in the chaos of combat. For all the hype and criticism, the only measure that truly matters is how the F-35B performs when the shooting starts. On paper, it stealth delays enemy detection, giving pilots precious seconds to fire first. In exercises, F-35s have killed older fighters before those jets even knew they were being tracked. That's the advantage of seeing without being seen. But real-world operations revealed cracks in the armor. Maintenance crews struggled to keep readiness rates high, with jets often grounded waiting for parts or software fixes. Critics argued that in a prolonged conflict, the F-35B's complexity could become its Achilles heel, an advanced fighter stuck in the hangar while simpler jets stayed in the sky. And when stealth advantage fades, once missiles are in the air, or enemies close in, the jet's compromises are exposed. It isn't the fastest nor the most agile in a dogfight. The hope is that it never has to fight on those terms. Every victory in training fuels the belief that the F-35B is worth its cost. Every failure sparks fears that in real combat, it might not live up to the legend. The F-35 program isn't just an American project, it's a multinational bet. Over a dozen allied nations have poured billions into buying fleets of these jets, integrating them into their air forces, and tying their defense strategies to the F-35's success. For many of these countries, the F-35 isn't just a plane, it's their ticket to staying relevant in modern warfare. But that dependency comes with risk. Some allies praise it as indispensable, the jet that will keep their militaries competitive for decades. Others quietly grumble about ballooning costs, endless delays, and a jet that sometimes spends more time in the hangar than in the sky. If the F-35B delivers on its promises, it strengthens NATO and cements American air dominance well into the 21st century. But if it fails, the fallout could ripple across the globe, leaving partner nations armed with fleets of expensive aircraft that can't fight as advertised. It's not just a fighter jet anymore. It's a political, financial, and military gamble on a scale the world has rarely seen. So where does the F-35B really stand? On one side, it's a marvel of modern engineering, a jet that can hover like a helicopter, vanish from radar, and fight as part of a digital swarm. On the other, it's a symbol of compromise, heavy, expensive, and plagued by constant controversy. Its supporters believe history will vindicate it. They argue that once the jet is fully integrated, with decades of software upgrades and battlefield data behind it, the F-35B will prove to be the cornerstone of 21st century air power. Its critics remain unconvinced. To them, the F-35B is less a revolution and more a warning that no aircraft can be everything at once without sacrificing the very traits that make a fighter lethal. The real answer won't be found in glossy brochures or controlled training exercises. It will be written in the chaos of the next major war, a war where the F-35B will either justify its trillion-dollar price tag or go down as the most expensive cautionary tale in aviation history. The F-35B stands as both a promise and a warning. It's a jet that can land vertically on tiny decks, share the battlefield through a pilot's visor, and delay detection with stealth that rewrote aviation design. Yet it's also a program weighed down by spiraling costs, endless maintenance demands, and fierce debate over whether it can truly dominate the skies. Its legacy isn't sealed in blueprints or test flights. It will be decided in the unforgiving reality of combat. Until then, it remains both a marvel of technology and a lightning rod of controversy. So I'll leave the question with you. Is the F-35B the future of air power, or the most expensive gamble in history? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want more deep dives into the weapons shaping tomorrow's wars, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell. The next story might change how you see the battlefield forever.